Jeff Ward.
I'm Tom Higgins.
Today on the show we're going to be taking a look at the Fear 2 Project Origin demo, the Resident Evil 5 demo, and Resident Evil Degeneration on Blu-ray disc. We'll also be doing our retro flashback section, taking a look at two retro games that you need to check out, and we'll be discussing a few brand new trailers of some of the big upcoming games. Starting off, though, I think we should get right into it with Fear 2 Project Origin.
Alright, Fear 2.
Fear. A very, very good game if you like scary first-person shooters.
Very scary.
Well, not
Children
very.
in red dresses, man. That's creepy.
Apparently, small children with hair in front of their face is the equivalent to the scariest thing imaginable. And I agree, because when they pop out and you have a gun in your hand, you almost want to plug their face full of rounds, but at the same time you're like, oh, it's a child, and you hesitate, and that hesitation is your life.
Yeah.
But what did you think of the demo? You just actually played it, so...
I did. The demo was actually really good. It showed off the graphics capability of the 360. They seriously improved the slow-mo.
Mm-hmm.
It's much crisper. The graphics don't fuzz up a little bit, as they used to on the PC version, I found. And the demo gives you a really good taste between the horror and the shooting. It's kind of...
It's a good balance. Yeah. Like, there's a good chunk of shooting and like gameplay, and then you go into a more cinematic style with the horror part, which is really in your face about it. Like, you're walking down a hallway of the school part, and lockers are shaking, and it's like all dark, and there's just like these crazy ghost spirit things
jumping back and forth,
and forth, and you gotta shoot them as fast as you can because they're really jumpy. In the first Fear. This is a completely different story. It basically takes place right after the first Fear, the initial explosion, and yeah. I think there's like a team sent in afterwards. So you're playing a different character than you were in the first one.
The stories overlap a bit. I think the first few minutes take place exactly at the same time as the end of the first one.
Yeah. And then there was there's a couple of expansions for the PC. One being Extraction Point, which is the first one. Which takes place like a few seconds on the same character right after Fear 1, and then the other one was Perseus Mandate, which took place after that. Yeah. And was...
Never played that one.
It was decent. They kind of got worse and worse as they went on, but they were still the core gameplay. The combat, pretty good.
Combat was really good. The AI, smart. They move fast. They try and outflank you, which is great. It makes you think, makes you move, keeps an eye of your cover. They give you the great ability of now flipping tables, any kind of really table, cool. For cover. It took me a while to figure out how to crouch, though, so I was kind of uselessly flipping tables.
But, I mean, the table thing is really cool. It gives a little bit more gameplay additive, which is always good, because the cover system is not really a cover system. It's more of a gentleman's duel with big guns. You gotta hide behind something and then come back out and shoot. There's no real, like, Gears of War up against a wall type of thing. And I think the biggest thing about the demo that isn't in any of the other games is the mechs. At the end of the demo, you get to be in a huge bastard of a mech, and it's pretty cool.
The weapons, cheesy. Yeah, it's kind of cheesy, but the weapons make up for it.
Turning people into hunks of meat is always fun.
It's a new aspect. You just really feel invincible in this thing. You're just giant mech with a shield. Enemies come at you from every side all at once, which can make it a little daunting at first, but once you get the hang of it, you really start to enjoy this scene. They take away your slow-mo, though.
Yeah. But, I mean, you're in a mech, you shoot like 500 rounds a second. I don't really think you need slow-mo. You basically just... There's like a cluster of rockets, and then there's the machine gun move. And you can like walk into enemies as well, and you can either just like stomp on them or to like kick them across the map, which is also pretty cool. But
and they give you a great amount of intel in the game. Little pickups here and there. You kind of got to look for them if you're into just getting the gameplay. You might not find all of them, but if you take your time, explore the little side rooms, what few of them there are, you'll find little bits of intel which give you a shred of info on what the game's going to be like, what the story is, info on the back, of the side characters. They're teasing you a bit. They're holding it in front of you, but not giving it to you all the way.
Yeah, it's a good demo because it's got the perfect balance of things that you want to play in the demo. They give you a lot of weapons to work with, and some of them are really powerful. And it's just... I'll get the game based on the story alone because I like the Fear story, and I want to see what happens eventually through the end, so I'll pick the game up just solely based on that, but the demo can definitely sell you. At least play the demo and rent it.
Yeah.
So next is the Resident Evil 5 demo, which I'm a Resident Evil fanatic. It's my favorite game franchise of all time, and I've been geeked about this since, well, the end of Resident Evil 4, and because that was a phenomenal game. But I mean, branching out from a different style of Resident Evil, from the walking on a grid with 2D fixed camera angles and very limited ammo to a plethora of ammo and over-the-shoulder camera.
And they brought back a character you haven't seen in a long time. This time you're playing as Chris Redfield. I don't think you've seen him since the first one. At least I haven't.
He was in Code Veronica.
Code Veronica. Right,
Code Veronica, which was another one with Claire on the island, and Rockford Island. That was a pretty good game. You didn't get to play as him very much, but he was a good character. But this takes place quite a few years after that.
Yes.
He is definitely a lot bigger, stronger.
And their first big attempt at co-op since the failed Resident Evil Outbreak.
Mm-hmm.
The co-op, what did you think of it? I found it really... They did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to work together. There's a lot of... you like really have to rely on your teammate.
Yes.
AI-wise, like if you're playing single player and you got to use her, it'd be better for you to cover them than for them to cover you, because the AI doesn't quite work that well. But if you're playing with a competent human being, which
Yes.
is, as we know, is always better than AI, there's a lot of give and take. You got to like throw her up onto higher ledges or throw
Yes.
her across, and she is picking locks for you and opening doors.
Yeah.
And
Fortunately, I didn't get to play around too much with this demo.
yeah, we got the I guess the Japanese version, and I haven't played much of the new one, but I mean it's still a good demo. You got to check it out. You can't check it out on Xbox Live anymore. You would have to have downloaded it a few days ago. There was like a week-long stint where any Xbox Live Gold member could just download it for free.
Yes. It was really good, though.
Yeah, you can still find the torrent out there for the
Sharing ammo and items now, much simpler, as opposed to Outbreak. Your first aid sprays, they heal both players within proximity.
That's good.
What else did they give you? Your inventory. It's all simplified with the D-pad now. You don't have to keep breaking up gameplay, switching in and out of your briefcase or whatever inventory item you have, according to the game.
It's all real time. There's no, like, you're going into a menu to get your stuff, so you got to make sure that
you're in a safe zone.
Yeah, there's in a safe zone if you're going
to
do something, because you don't get a pause unless you actually pause the game. Yeah. Although I'm very worried about the control, because the control is really boxy. Your character's a big guy.
It's a demo, though. Don't forget, this is for them to...
But it just feels like you're really slow and you can't move very well, and like you turn really slow, and maybe if there's like an aiming sensitivity that makes the cursor a little bit faster or something, but I don't like the control at all, and I really hope they fix it.
It's
I mean, I'll buy it anyway because it's my franchise, but...
It's out to give them feedback, so
That's
hopefully some things will be changed and tweaked before final release. But
And control is a big one, because I want to feel like my guy is actually running when he's actually running, not, at a slow jog. But, I mean, there's a great environment, it's really creepy, and the return of Wesker, which is huge.
Wesker, yes. He's
Albert
in the
Wesker
trailers.
is huge. And he looks just like, well, basically
he's mean now.
Unstoppable. He's an unstoppable killing machine. And I want to see what they're going to do with that storyline, because he was deeply involved with White Umbrella in the earlier iterations of the series, so I really want to see where they're going to take the Wesker character. There's definitely a square-off between Chris and Wesker, which is a huge rivalry in the Resident Evil
Hopefully they bring back
universe.
Some of the cinematic fights between Leon and Krauser.
Oh, the
knife fight.
Yeah.
Hopefully they bring some of that back.
Those are cool.
It looks like the perfect opportunity to do so.
The quick time events, yeah.
Yeah. Right. I think that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely play the demo.
The
that
demo.
game comes out March 13th.
Yes.
So, and the next we got another Resident Evil Degeneration on Blu-ray. Obviously I picked this up like the first day it was available because I love Resident Evil, and I just will go nuts for it. It's a movie with Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield, who happen to meet of all places back in an airport. And,
By chance.
Yeah, and purely by chance, of course, another zombie outbreak happens, which they're more than adept in fighting those circumstances.
Yes.
A la